Yeah, we're already live. So welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're glad that we got a good response on day one.
Hopefully again.
So we plan to continue this on day two as well. Today's topic. So other than the ones which we spoke about yesterday, we spoke about the fact that markets are in some form. So we spoke about bruised blue chips yesterday, as Sajeet alluded to. But we also spoke about the fact that markets, whether they can recover from here or will there still be more pain overall in the market in 2025. What's the kind of anticipation? And we took Niraj Shah's view. The other piece we promised you we will get you today is a view with regard to FNO. Now, all of these regulations, how do they impact markets? Because the volumes in some of these...
but before that, sorry Hersh, but before
yes.
because the markets are doing decently well today.
You want to move to the global picture and talk about
the
that.
three factors, right?
Right?
Or the 6 factors, or the 9 factors, right? And this morning when I was thinking about it before the morning show as to what should I say on the trade setup, whether the key factors, the key factors which are driving markets today, right? I could think of actually 3 or 4. But principally, one, the inflation numbers being lower. So both US and UK inflation being lower. And the stats suggested that the yields across the US Treasury curve, by the way, the biggest one-day decline since November 25th.
Yes.
So, they were pricing in so much of hawkishness that there's a bit of a band that was stretched so badly that it came off. So one was the yields, of course, and the expectation of the Fed rate cut being brought to June. The US bank earnings. And I wonder why IT is down today. We'll talk about that, of course, but upbeat US bank earnings, and therefore that helps some optimism there. And the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, of course, so that's 2. And RBI also looking to infuse some liquidity. So I think it was a classic cocktail, in addition to, of course, Hindenburg shutting shop.
but we've cooled off from the highs.
Of course, we should.
So
the economic factor, economic
1% plus we opened higher, and then we've cooled off.
So maybe we need to look at the numbers very little deep.
Which numbers?
Inflation numbers. Let's look. So month on month it has fallen, right? But if you look at some of the commentaries which are coming subsequent to that, as I think one of the guests in our show was talking about, insurance forms a very big part of inflation, and inflation has been high. And now LFIs will ensure that the inflation cost of insurance will go up. As a result, the inflation will be impacted further. So that inflation factor is still at play here. Even though month on month it may have fallen there, but the core inflation, the food inflation, the insurance, all those things are still showing a very heightened rate.
नहीं महंगा तो है,
महंगा है,
पर ये बहुत स्ट्रेच हो गया था ना सजीत,
तो थोड़ा आज का ऑप्टिमिज्म भी बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रेच हुआ है मेरे ख्याल से.
हो गया,
हो सकता है,
हो गया,
हो सकता है.
2% जो मार्केट बढ़ा है यूएस में, वो भी ज्यादा ओवर ऑप्टिमिज्म है उसमें. आज शायद करेक्शन आए उधर, क्योंकि आप डीप डाइव करोगे इन्फ्लेशन नंबर्स में तो आपको
पता चल जाएगा फ्यूचर्स क्या है. व्हाट आर द फ्यूचर्स?
3 बजे खुलेगा ना वो.
आई एम लुकिंग एट द 10-year bonds actually.
10-year bonds
4.65. Okay, so that's where
हाँ, तो अराउंड 14 पे गिरा है, 14 पे गिरा है 10 year.
Around
it went close to 5% at some time.
4 point, हाँ, अभी के लिए तो 4.8 था.
Stock futures are flat. US stock futures are flat.
Yeah, so not much of a reaction.
So it's not that kind of rub-off which is there. Second thing, Hamas is a good deal, but it's getting countered with Russian sanctions, which has come in the last week. And now I was reading a report that Biden has put in clauses that Trump cannot dilute any of it unless he goes to the Congress. Those sanctions, which basically means that आपका oil prices will remain high, and supply unless OPEC Plus now says, okay, instead of March we are going to release excess in Feb. That's not going to happen. The tightness is going to continue, and crude will be about $80 or $81, and as it goes up, it's bad for emerging economies like us.
If it goes up to above 95, right?
About 75 तो हमने factor ही नहीं किया है ना.
हाँ, but the sweet spot, as I've always figured out, is that below 90 is still okay for India.
We'll still about that threshold of $70-75, which the government factored in as part of its overall budget.
तो सर आप मंदी में हो तेजी में हो?
मैं मंदी या तेजी की बात नहीं कर रहा, मैं फैक्टर्स को ठीक से पढ़ो.
Okay, fine.
That's what I'm trying to say. कि आप अपना decision जो है उस factors के basis पे लो कि हो रहा है कि नहीं. Yes, there are positive things which are happening. You have Korea, which has I think reduced it, or has I think they have held rates today, right? Means Bank of
Not sure.
वो था. There is inflation coming down in UK, which is good because then there's a revival of coming in for European segment, and that's good for IT also because IT has been badly hit because of the European uncertainty and geopolitical risk which has come in there. Germany, France, UK, all three. So that is a good thing which is coming in there. But macro numbers we are still not out of the woods.
Yeah, but the markets discount a few. I don't know what Hersh's your views, but I think that there is. We beaten down so badly. Yeah, you're a contrary because I believe actually that there is a chance for some upsides here.
So when I was looking at the CME data today, post the CPI numbers, even if by June or July inflation were to come down,
India?
At best, no, I'm talking US right
US.
now. If inflation numbers were to come down, at best they are penciling in a good or rather 50% odd probability of rates coming to 425 bips, which is another 25 bips down. Not more than that. They're not building for more than
वो
that.
तो last year ही pencil हो गया था कि एक आने वाला है, 2 की जगह पे एक आने वाला है.
नहीं, there
were two.
The final
There were
expectations
two
are of two expectations.
Two expected.
What has happened is it's been brought forth
Down
from
to one.
September to June.
No,
From September to June, the probability has
अभी
gotten
मार्च में शायद
better.
आ जाएगा. That's what you are saying.
No. What I'm
September से
saying
June हो
is
गया, हाँ.
that the next 4 months, depending on inflation, this may well move. This print, does it finally determine whether the cut happens in June or not? I'm not so sure. There are still 4 months of data ahead of us.
Yeah, but I'm saying
which we need to assess.
If you go down, sorry, just one last point here. If we go down to fundamentals now, I mean, it's impossible to decipher this. What is it? The crux of the matter is कि कितना pricing हो गया है? Is it overstretched? And I think, to my mind, that it was too much of hawkishness was baked in, and which is why this whiff, remember, Friday payroll data was very bad.
Correct.
But too much of hawkishness baked in, some bit of positivity, thoda relief rally hai. Can this relief rally carry on further? Yes. What will happen post that depends a lot on the earning season and the budget.
So
Payroll
if the
was
relief
bad for rate cut.
Yeah, exactly.
But payroll was good.
But but bad for rate cut.
Rate cut,
Hawkishness, na? So hawkishness around rates. That's what I'm trying to say. So
So
that's
bad
the
for
point.
markets.
Simple.
So now, if I can stretch this a little bit more, so where do markets go? If, for example, a rate cut is not going to come till June or July, would you be happy with a flattish kind of market from here?
Yeah. Okay. So as of now, the rate cut is priced in June. Until then, it's not happening in the US. So from our markets perspective, now shifting focus to our markets, right? There was a note yesterday which said that they expect RBI to move in Feb independent of what the Fed is doing, right? Our inflation numbers might start looking better. We don't have the problem of natural gas prices being higher the way US and the European region has. Crude at 80, manageable. It's not 70, but it is manageable, right? So therefore, will the Reserve Bank of India move the till a little bit in February or whatever it is, or sound dovish? So that is one. Will the earnings season be a bit better than what the street is factoring? After Q2, everybody said कि नहीं होगा. Q3 will be better than Q2, but not a good earnings season. Can there be a surprise?
But what's your sense on that?
My sense is earnings will be neither here nor there in quarter 3. I don't think the turnaround is very swift on earnings per
It's a
se
very slow turnaround.
in quarter 3, and it should be that way. It can't be a yo-yo. So that is part 2. Even though Q2 was unnaturally weak.
So what will the reactions be? Sorry, I'm just trying to extend this.
No, it is
because,
good. So
because the way in which
Harsh, the
stocks
reactions
are reacting.
That's what I'm saying. The reactions are evident today.
कल का देख लो ना. कल महिंद्रा गिरा नीचे. नोमुरा का नोट आया है जिसमें उसने ऑटो अर्निंग्स को डाउनग्रेड किया है, saying that there are more auto pain coming in and the earnings are getting downgraded, which is happening. And autos are a fast, high frequency economic indicator. If you
Correct.
If you
Yes,
look
yes,
at
they
it
are.
that way.
Yes.
So वहाँ पर है. CA के numbers इतने खराब है.
But that was expected. Raw material prices, it was expected. It was built in. I'm
volumes are not
surprised
bad.
that there is a reaction on the counter.
Earnings खराब है ना.
हाँ, earnings तो
और
खराब.
आगे भी
but आने ही वाले थे ना
अगले
सर.
क्वार्टर का भी खराब बता रहा है. बोल रहा है
Fair.
कि अगले क्वार्टर में
वो fair. That I agree. That was
देखो
unexpected.
वही बोल रहा हूँ. We need to be selective. The point is how much of this is baked in already.
Yeah.
So HDFC Life, great reaction.
numbers.
LTTS, great reaction.
That was a surprise actually.
Yeah, I think so. Even I was surprised a little bit because I thought that it will be a thumbs down. But I think probably what may have worked is that they have expressed optimism around deal wins.
Yes,
and what
that's
will happen
the
in
only
quarter
thing which
4
was positive.
and FY26.
Yes.
So part 2. But part 3, US banks commentary for IT spends very high. Could it augur well for IT? And therefore, if all of this is baked in, can there be some positive surprises on the earnings upside? Part 2. And will the budget be a non-event? The budget में इतना baked in है कि oh, will there be a rate, tax this? अगर वो सब नहीं होता है, and then the Reserve Bank moves, and the government does enough to boost consumption a little bit, I think the next 20-25 days might have some positives, right? So I just feel that fundamentally the market shouldn't budge too much based on earnings, etc. But sentiment and the fact that kitna baked in hai aur kya deliver hota hai, that may well move the markets. And I think there might be some piece of upside that could come in. The risk reward. Think of the risk reward over a 12 to 18 month perspective. Worst case scenario, if you do 1200 earnings, then your bottom is getting created somewhere around a 22,000 zone. If you overshoot on the upside, if government capex comes in, if private capex comes in, so on and so forth. Trump trade comes in, and while people are fearing that सब कुछ है, लेकिन China +1 becomes a reality of some sort, etc. and stuff like that, you never know. Earnings could be slightly better too. So let's hope for that.
But Trump trade has not totally unwind नहीं हुआ है अभी तक.
नहीं हुआ है, इसलिए तो बोल रहे हैं कि शायद से प्ले होगा.
थोड़ा सा unwind हुआ, पूरा नहीं हुआ है. तो is there enough room for a Trump trade?
Who knows? But that's the point I'm making. अभी तक
we don't know
Biosecure
policy,
Act
so it's
आने वाला था, नहीं हुआ, stocks आ गए.
अभी चल रहा था जब तक उसने टैरिफ का नाम नहीं लिया.
Exactly.
टैरिफ जैसे नाम लिया उसे unwind शुरू हुआ.
Rightfully so. Simple है ना. So अभी, but the thing is, let's talk about specifics then, right? Today, what has happened? So Hersh, let me
one more question on the domestic macro.
And then I have a question on HDFC Life to you.
Fair. So, sir, yesterday's question which I put across to you with regard to कि FNO का क्या इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है. 12-18 महीना नीरज सर स्पोक अबाउट फ्रॉम निफ्टी वैल्यूएशन पर्सपेक्टिव 22 कुड वेल बी द बॉटम एक्सेट्रा. आपके हिसाब से दिस मैसिव अमाउंट ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस दैट FNO हैज ऑन द मार्केट, do you believe what will the impact be in 2025?
So stock specific wise देखते हैं, right?
हाँ जी.
That's the best way to look at it.
Yes.
Angel One के नंबर्स आए. Angel One के नंबर्स में FNO अगर आप देखोगे उसके अंदर तो क्वार्टर ऑन क्वार्टर गिरा है वॉल्यूम्स, रेवेन्यूज भी गिरा है, उसके एबिटा गिरा है, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी गिरा है. एंड दैट्स प्राइमरली बिकॉज द रिटेल वॉल्यूम्स हैव बीन squeezed out of the market because of the contract sizes and जो रेगुलेटरी एक्शन हुआ है.
करेक्ट.
अब एक्सचेंजेस की तरफ से देखो उसको, एक्सचेंज में एक अजीब सा वो एक नया वो दिख रहा है एक्चुअली BSE के स्पेशली, बिकॉज क्या है कि एक्सचेंजेस को रेवेन्यू मिलता है अपने ट्रांजैक्शन से. तो पहले जो ट्रांजैक्शन और ऑप्शंस में ये इम्पैक्ट हुआ है, राइट. सो वहाँ पर 0 डे सेटलमेंट होते थे, तो प्रीमियम्स फिर वेरी स्मॉल होते थे. अभी जो प्रीमियम टर्नओवर है BSE का मैंने देखा और NSE का जो देखा मैंने, वहाँ पर प्रीमियम टर्नओवर इंक्रीज हो रहा है, विच बेसिकली मीन्स कि आपने 1 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पर एक्सचेंज पर वीक कर दिया. निफ्टी और सेंसेक्स का कर दिया. सेंसेक्स ट्यूसडे को होगा, निफ्टी थर्सडे को होगा. उसकी वजह से आप पीपल आर टेकिंग लॉन्गर ड्यूरेशन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, नॉट जीरो नहीं कर रहे. और जो प्रीमियम जो है, जो बिकॉज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइजेस बढ़े तो प्रीमियम बढ़ा ही है, बढ़ा, बट टेन्योर बढ़ा है, तो उसकी वजह से भी प्रीमियम बढ़ा है. तो टर्नओवर हैज गॉन अप.
सो एक्सचेंजेस को प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ,
एक्सचेंजेस को उतना इम्पैक्ट नहीं हुआ जितना एंटीसिपेटेड
ब्रोकरेजेस को
हुआ है. क्योंकि ब्रोकरेजेस में पर ट्रांजैक्शन वॉल्यूम मिलता था उनको, यहाँ पर टर्नओवर वॉल्यूम मिलता है एक्सचेंजेस को, तो प्रीमियम टर्नओवर इंक्रीज हो रहा है.
Is that why brokerages are bullish on, say for example, BSE?
Yes, that's one of the reasons the impact is not being seen.
Got it.
मतलब आप सोच रहे थे कि 40% गिरेगा आपका वॉल्यूम्स या टर्नओवर बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, अभी सिर्फ 10-11% गिर रहा है. एंड वो भी देयर इज अ शिफ्ट व्हिच इज हैपनिंग फ्रॉम से जो पहले निफ्टी बैंक होता था या बैंक एक्स होता था जिसमें सबसे ज़्यादा ट्रेडिंग होती थी, अभी और मंथली उसमें वॉल्यूम शिफ्ट हो रहे हैं कुछ.
Nice.
और वहाँ पर भी लास्ट वीक में काफ़ी एक्टिविटी हो रही है.
Okay.
तो वहाँ पर भी जो प्रीमियम जो है वो बड़ा प्रीमियम आ रहा है उसके अंदर. एंड देयर इज अ शिफ्ट टू कैश मार्केट. कैश जिसको कहते हैं कि इंट्राडे ट्रेडिंग which is happening to some bit of it, so that is also
But sir, the
पर वो
real
पूरा compensate नहीं कर रहा है.
Yeah.
So from a brokerage point of view, Angel One हो गया या 5 पैसा हो गया, कोई भी जो brokerage है, unless they go for a diversification, उनका revenues will not come back to the same level.
Noted.
And it will take at least 3 to 4 quarters for them, for the natural organic growth of the market. अगर market होता है तो उधर जाने के लिए, but BSE और NSE के लिए इतना इम्पैक्ट नहीं होने वाला है जितना एंटिसिपेटेड था.
बट इंडेक्स पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा सर? कमिंग बैक टू द क्रिटिकल क्वेश्चन, do you feel that this lowering of volumes or more efficient participants coming in over the less efficient ones?
Efficient participant नहीं हो रहा है.
Okay.
नहीं.
Prop traders are not efficient.
Prop traders.
HFTs are not efficient.
HFTs है. So the proportion of HFTs and algo co-location and everything is going up.
Yes.
Retail is
exactly.
coming down.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Unfortunately, exchanges don't. They classify prop trades as part of the retail trade, so we don't get the breakup of कितना prop trade है, कितना actual retail है, and it comes with a 1 month lag कि भाई retail में कितना trade हुआ है. But the volumes have been eaten up by the prop trade guys.
So is it going to be that markets will get more efficient? There will be less volatility.
See, the volumes have come down anyways. So efficiency of market or price determination.
Is this one of the reasons why markets are under some amount of pressure over the last month or so? Or
no, that's
you
not
wouldn't
it.
feel so.
It's purely
Just
fundamental and global.
Just picking it
Simple.
up.
Purely fundamental और global और कुछ नहीं. Earnings है जो अभी चल रहा है and it's paying out.
चलो अभी आप मैन ऑफ द मैच के बारे में बताओ. HDFC Life.
HDFC Life.
Why
HDFC
10%?
Life. Boss, I think the biggest reason why it's up is because of margins. Yeah, I mean nobody would have anticipated 175 basis points of margin increase in one quarter.
VNB
What
margin?
margin?
VNB margin.
What is VNB margin?
हाँ समझाओ.
So VNB margin basically is on the incremental business that you're doing. What is the profit that you are anticipating?
नया
on that
धंधा क्या आया उस टाइम पे?
नए धंधे पे तुम कितना प्रॉफिट मारोगे? If you can simplify it, most have
No, same.
right? So नए धंधे पे कितना तुम प्रॉफिट कमा रहे हो, right? This new pool of profit goes straight into the embedded value of the company.
Sorry. So VNB is value of new business.
Correct.
उसमें जितना margin आता है, it goes straight to the embedded value.
VNB is the basis of VNB margin. It's like EBITDA margin.
समझ गया.
VNB is equivalent to EBITDA.
And goes onto the embedded value.
Goes straight into the embedded value.
What is the
embedded
importance?
value is what? Embedded value is the current value of all the future profit that you're going to make for all the business underwritten till today.
So अगर वो margin ऊपर जाता है तो embedded value बढ़ जाएगा. So
embedded value
का भाव बढ़ना चाहिए.
और बढ़ेगा और more importantly is what I feel. More importantly, it's the fact that going forward, you're expecting margins to either get better or remain at this level. Why is that so? Because they've come out and said, what's the reason for this increase? No one-offs in this quarter. Second, you're seeing better pricing environment on most of its products except annuity. And I spoke to your namesake, Niraj Shah, who's the CFO of HDFC Life yesterday, just after the results, and this is what he said. Pricing में बहुत better हो गया है competition, much better than anticipated. Annuity में अभी भी pricing में issues है. ULIPs etc. pricing has become much better, and which is why they've been able to do this. From here, the question will only be, will the environment become adverse or better? More chances, it seems, basis conversation, that it will only get better. And therefore, you will likely see a margin uptick if at all. If worst case, it will be flat.
So
otherwise, you will see an uptick.
इंश्योरेंस कंपनी में सबसे ज़्यादा धंधा या रेवेन्यू जो होता है वो Q4 में आता है, राइट?
करेक्ट,
राइट.
करेक्ट.
अभी अगर आप कह रहे हो यूलिप अच्छा कर रहा है और मार्केट्स अभी सबड्यूड हैं, तो क्या वही सेम ऑप्टिमिज्म यूलिप में रहेगा Q4 में?
That is the other thing which they spoke about, and this they spoke about on the con call, not with me. So on the con call, they said that ULIPs, on 1 year of underperformance in the market, ULIP growth starts to taper. It takes, there's a 12-month lag.
Okay.
अभी तक वो underperformance sharp नहीं दिख रहा है उतना. अभी भी markets काफी buoyant है, तो इसके लिए ULIPs they'll be able to continue to push is the sense. But nonetheless, annuity may just come back in a big fashion.
पर आपका प्रोडक्ट
which hasn't yet come. प्रोडक्ट मिक्स अभी के लिए चेंज हुआ है, बट दैट वील हैव टू वेट एंड वॉच एज टू हाउ दैट गोज इन द फ्यूचर डिपेंडिंग ऑन हाउ द एनवायरनमेंट.
Okay, there are 7 minutes left. We should check for questions if any. But brokerages are constructed, right? I remember asking Hersh, okay, what is the highest target? So it's
Upgrade-
835.
Nuvama was 650 by the way.
650.
On top of
And City
on
is
top of this.
835.
835.
और आई
Yes.
थिंक नोवामा ने नहीं नमोरे ने अपग्रेड किया था, किसी ने अपग्रेड किया था राइट आज HDFC लाइफ को वापस
HDFC Life को नोमुरा ने अपग्रेड किया है.
नमोरे ने अपग्रेड टू बाय.
But one question on this only. We have Gyanathan Shekhon, likely not from India, but I hope I've pronounced the name right. Kindly share what shall be the impact of government's push for increased FDI up to 100% in the insurance sector. I'll ask you first.
I think short term में कुछ नहीं होने
कुछ
वाला,
नहीं
कुछ नहीं होने वाला.
Yeah, likewise, even I feel the same.
FDI अगर आएगा भी तो नए कंपनीज में आएगा और वो लिस्टेड नहीं होने वाली है और उनको 10 साल चाहिए प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी में पहुंचने के लिए.
Correct.
तो वो 10 साल में FDI अगर 100% भी आता है तो दैट कैपिटल विल गो इनटू बिल्डिंग द बिजनेस. I don't think आजकल कंपनीज आर वेटिंग फॉर 10 years.
They are not.
वो नहीं है. एंड इफ यू कम टू द मार्केट आपको 25% तो नीचे करना ही है.
Correct.
क्योंकि आपको मिनिमम पब्लिक शेयर होल्डिंग करना है.
Correct.
74-75% ही आप कर पाओगे.
Correct.
सो इंडियन पार्टनर्स नहीं होंगे, फॉरेन कंपनीज के होंगे, पर आई डोंट नो हाउ
Largely
मेनी फॉरेन कंपनीज
unaffected.
वांट देयर सब्सिडीज टू बी लिस्टेड.
सो हाँ भैया खाली नुआंस वो ये है कि आप सिंपल सी बात है कि आप अगर HDFC लाइफ हो या ICICI हो, क्या वो दोनों कंपनी अपना 100% स्टेक ग्लोबल पार्टनर को बेचने वाले नहीं. सो देयरफॉर द लार्ज वंस डोंट गेट इंपैक्टेड. शायद कोई इंडियन पार्टनर हो जो स्ट्रगल कर रहा हो और किसी को इंश्योरेंस लाइसेंस चाहिए तो वो अपना स्टेक बेचते. मुझे पता नहीं, जैसे इडलवाइस में के पास इंश्योरेंस है, अगर इडलवाइस को कोई ग्लोबल इंश्योरेंस मेजर इफ दे गेट and if they are willing to sell the whole thing lock stock barrel under evaluation, maybe those might benefit, but not clear.
But
बजाज को देखो ना, बजाज तो लिस्ट नहीं करना चाहता उसके.
No, but they might just want a stake, not from a
It
listed
might in
person.
fact increase competition.
Yeah.
Net, not reduce for sure. So not positive for sure. Unlikely to be positive. Let me put it that way.
Neutral for the other.
Neutral at best.
उससे कुछ कोई लिस्टेड प्लेयर को.
Correct.
What else? Anything else?
So we have the yen carry trade. That's a question. One of the questions which
that
someone
is
has
a-
asked.
that
Sajeet, 1 minute. You want to answer that?
Yeah, you want to answer
because yesterday we saw the Bank of Japan head Ueda talking about that we should be looking at preparing the market for a rate hike which is going to happen next week. 23rd and 24th को BOJ का मीटिंग है, उस समय ये रेट हाइक होगा most likely because first deputy governor then governor both are talking. So basically they are preparing the market, the floor for that. They don't want a surprise like July August हुआ जहाँ पर एकदम उन्होंने increase किया और and then markets fell drastically. So they are preparing the market for that. So there will be some carry trade which is happening. कितना होगा and किस proportion में intensity में होगा वो पता नहीं. एंड इट्स कमिंग क्लोज टू द ट्रम्प इनॉग्रेशन. सो आपका अगर टैरिफ भी आ गए उस समय और BOJ भी आ गया उस समय, तो उस समय बहुत बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स सिचुएशन फॉर्म होने वाला है.
Got it. Okay.
What we will address tomorrow though is Trump trade, because on the 20th we'll have the swearing in. Maybe something
Trump
might move next week on the back of that. Could well move. So we'll address that tomorrow, but not today.
Yeah.
और कोई क्वेश्चन है?
Kalyan Jewelers, your view.
So, you know why it's difficult to give a view is that because there are 2 or 3 rumors.
Which has been denied by the company. Let's put it.
But 2 or 3 rumors. We don't have all clarity on all of them. I don't want to speak some of the rumors because social media is talking about that and we don't have veracity, etc. and stuff like that.
I think in one of the call calls they asked this question. And it was
that's not a
denied.
rumor.
हाँ.
नहीं वो तो बराबर है, पर वो तो पूछा गया. बट माय लिमिटेड पॉइंट बीइंग, सो बिकॉज देयर आर 2 or 3 rumors एंड वो रूमर का एक सबसेट ऑफ रूमर्स है एंड देन देयर आर व्हाट्सएप कन्वर्सेशंस एटसेट्रा. द लिमिटेड पॉइंट इज दैट it was a falling knife about 5 days ago and it's fallen further. If there were no rumors, right, purely from a growth that the company has done in its forecasting, is it looking very attractive on valuations? Any analyst will tell you that.
No,
a lot of people are saying that relative to what it was, it's looking very good on
relative, yes,
valuations.
but 90 times. I was just looking at the numbers while you were
Trailing,
speaking.
right?
Trailing.
Exactly, but trailing multiples no. The growth forecast for 25-26 is decent. So I'm saying 1 year forward.
Present भी करोगे तो 70 times ही होगा ना?
नहीं, but apparently they are targeting a lot higher growth part. Like I said, it's difficult to call it के भाई because of the rumors. So is it, for example, my last point is for people who believe let's assume I believe that the valuations are good. At the current price, which is 530, 540, whatever it is it a great buy because valuations are good? The answer is a no, because with the cascading impact of the rumors, could it fall further? It could. So maybe wait for a rise and let it rise and then buy it.
And look at Titan, right? Titan has fallen from the top. One of the reasons which people talk about is how lab-grown diamond impact is going to happen. Now, Kalyan has a high degree of studded jewelry.
Correct.
Right? And very high end jewelry. If Titan can have an impact because of that, why will not Kalyan not have an impact?
Yeah. Agree.
So, but all of that being said, the growth numbers were stellar. To say the very least.
We have 1 minute left. I want to ask one more question actually, if we can. Yeah, Punjab and Sindh Bank, 9% up. Were the numbers that good? Very quickly, 60 seconds.
इतना भी बढ़िया नहीं था यार. मतलब it was good. There's no doubt. Plus, it's also a little bit of tailwind from the market itself, which has done very well today. So I think it's a little bit of global. It's a little bit of the numbers. But the numbers were good. And I'll just iterate one point.
30 seconds. Yeah.
0.31% was the ROA last year Q3. Current year Q2 ROA was 0.65. Current ROA is 0.73. Just kind of shows the way in which ROA has moved.
So return on assets going up.
So just healthy. The profitability going up, but it trades at 2 times.
So basically,
there are far cheaper options available today in the market at better growth, more quality growth.
So कल हमने जो बात की थी कि PSU बैंक में asset quality is better or improving.
That's turning out to be true.
That's turning out to be true. Yeah. So we flagged it off. In fact, let me also just very quickly look at the shareholding. Very sure that shareholding may be at least 90-95%, 98% held by government.
तो इसका QIP आ रहा है ना?
तो यार तुम्हारे पास फ्री फ्लोट ही नहीं है, तुम्हारे पास फ्री फ्लोट ही नहीं है, स्टॉक भाग ही जाएगा, illiquid stock है. So that's the other reason.
Okay. But the numbers are good.
But
so
then
PSU banks have good numbers.
QIP आएगा तो बहुत discount में आएगा basically.
But I was very impressed
Be careful about it.
I was very impressed with Bank of Maharashtra's numbers in contrast. With an 20% free float, Bank of Maharashtra's numbers were far healthier, far steadier, with better growth. उधर भी QIP आ रहा है, वो तो आ ही रहा है, ये पांचों banks में आ रहे हैं. It's not different. But I'm saying that is one bank which I would prefer over a Punjab and Sindh.
Noted. So one last piece, viewers, that if you, want to hear something tomorrow, and whoever does it, whether it's the 3 of us or somebody else, if you want to hear something tomorrow, please write in the comments. We'll try and address or bring up some of those points as well in tomorrow's session. Yep.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yes, time for lunch, and we'll see you during closing, I guess. 2 p.m.
During closing 2 p.m.
Chalo, 2 p.m.